to have that option to be able to see that exactly what's going to get framed, and show up in that final. So something to kind of think about. Now, this is listed on our shape node, so if we ever went back to our, say, our camera, boom, like that, we're not going to see that in the channel box. We're going to see this stuff. But we can add a channel and we can connect that if we wanted to, so that we have access to it on our main node. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and just add a channel. How do we do that? Well, we can go in to general editors and actually, let's see, in here. Words. They move stuff on me. Modify, add attribute. Modify, add attribute. It's over here now. You used to be able to right click and get to add attribute once upon a time. Anyway, modify, add attribute, bing. And sometimes you have to go search for it, and that's how you do it. If you didn't know that, go to help, find menu, and it'll help you find certain attributes, especially if you know what the attribute is or what the name of what you're looking for is. All right, so let's add this. We'll give it a long name of matte opacity. Okay, we can add that attribute, and we'll give it a minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 1. Okay, and it's a float, which is we want that to be able to, Boolean would be 0, 1 only. String would be a name. Integer would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like stepped kind of segments. So just go to a float. Okay, and we'll add that attribute. Now, what that does is gives us a channel. It doesn't do anything right now. If you left select the channel and middle mouse it, it'll change value, but it won't do anything. We have to connect it up. So under our shape node, if we can get to that, we go to outliner. Okay, and inside here you want to go under display and say click on shapes there. It'll be off by default, like that, and then go down to your shape node. Here's our shape node, but we don't see the channel that we want to have actually connected. We need to see that in the channel box so that we can actually get it showing up in connections. Although we might be able to actually see it in connections without it being in there. Let's see. Let's go connection editor just for giggles. Let's see what happens. So we take our shape node and we load it on the left. And see if we see that. Interestingly enough, I don't see it. Let's load our, oops, hold on a second. Left, show hidden's on, good. And right, show hidden's on. Okay, excellent. So those are on. Making sure. There's a long list. Focus distance. Display, there's our displays. Display gate mask opacity. There it is, right there. So it was under a little bit different name than I was expecting. So we can connect this to our other channel. So if we select our transform node and say load the right, because we're going to go from that other node to this node. Actually, we'll go the opposite direction. We'll go this way. So we want the render cam to control our shape node. Okay, so we're going to do this channel that we created. We'll see that at the bottom of the list. Matte opacity, right? To our display gate, which is right there. Ding. There we are. Okay, and since it was 0, we saw that change and disappear. So now we can control the matte opacity just by doing this. Okay, which is nice. It gives us controllability of that. You can also create a control in the window and connect it through other means and stuff like that. But that's the fastest, easiest way to do this. Now, one of the main things we want to make sure that we do when we're using this is that we have a render setting set up, because when we do our play blast or we do a render, we want it to work and function the way we want it to, at least with our how we want our display to look. So we want to maintain height and width ratio. But first, we're going to go ahead and check. We'll go full 1280 screen. And what you're going to change this, we're going to maintain that. Okay. Oops, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. HD. We'll do HD. HD 550. But we're going to change this to 720. We'll maintain that aspect ratio, and we're going to 720 by 405. Okay. Now, if we did want like a 1080, you know, or so on. Actually, if we made this 1080, there's our 19, so on and so on. So we go HD. We could do HD 720. That gives us right in the ballpark too. We just change this 720, watch this, boom, to 405. Okay, so that would be a good one to do. So go change that preset to HD 720, and then maintain aspect ratio, and then set it to 720 by 405. And that will give us that, which is nice framing. Okay. Go back. Weird. Okay. So that is it. That will be set up now. So when we do our play blast, it'll be set up to that. Now there's some other things we can show in our heads up that might be helpful for us to take a look at. Okay, so if we go to display, use UI elements, heads up display, we can show like frame length or current frame, frame rate rather. That's nice in certain aspects, but we're never going to get a 24 frames per second unless we play blast anyway. So you should always be doing that in order to get that. And then you should have, so I don't usually turn that on because I know that I'm going to have to do that in order to see that. So you could turn that off. But you can do like current frame, and that's nice because whenever you do, you know, critiques and talking about stuff, sometimes seeing the frame number and where it's happening and stuff is nice to kind of see. Okay, so that's something that you can turn on. And camera name, if you're using multiple cameras, that's a good one. That one's on by default. And that's about it for most of what you would want for animation. Okay, so you could turn on animation details. That basically what that's going to do is give you like playback speed, the current character you might be working with or something if you're working with character sets. IK blend if there's a solver or something that's, you know, working in the mix. But we're not doing much of that right now, so this will be good enough. Okay, and then there is your camera. You can do your play blast, and you can set everything up and work with it within there. Okay, do camera, get your matte opacity if you wanted to set it up to see something move in and out of frame. Okay, so go ahead and set this up, create your camera, name it, do that, turn in your scene file with your camera and maybe a little play blast. Well, not maybe, but follow the checklist so I can see that you created this and everything will be good to go. And we'll talk soon. Take care.